J.K. Rowling addresses the Emma Watson rift by saying, she is ignorant of how ignorant she is. In response to Emma Watson's recent comments on their disagreement over transgender rights, J.K. Rowling, the creator of the Harry Potter series, said the actress is ignorant of how ignorant she is. Rowling's article follows Watson's statement from a podcast interview, "I truly don't think that. Holding on to my affection, support, and opinions means that I can't and won't cherish Jo and the person I had a personal relationship with." Emma Watson and her co-stars have every right to embrace gender identity ideology, Rowling writes in a long article. These kinds of ideas are protected by law, and I wouldn't want any of them to be threatened with violence, murder, or losing their jobs as a result. But over the last several years, Emma and Dan Radcliffe, in particular, have made it obvious that they believe they have a special right, nay, a duty, to publicly criticize me and my opinions, she continues. Watson has already criticized the author's gender-critical views, as have co-stars Radcliffe and Rupert Grint from Harry Potter. Trans people are who they say they are and deserve to live their lives without being constantly questioned or told they aren't who they say they are, she tweeted in 2020 in response to Rowling's article about the need of single-sex areas because of the possibility of violence against women. During a speech at the 2022 BAFTA Film Awards, Watson made the adamant statement, "I'm here for all of the witches." In her piece, Rowling explains a message she received from Watson after her 2022 BAFTA's statements and claims that she has repeatedly declined invitations to comment on Watson's opinions because she didn't want her to be hounded as the result of anything I said. At a time when my personal security measures had to be significantly reinforced and I was always concerned for my family's safety, this was at the height of the threats of murder, rape, and torture. Emma believed that a brief statement of concern would convince me of her basic compassion and generosity, even if she had just publicly added fuel to the fire. Rowling went on to say, Emma has so little experience with real life that she is unaware of how dumb she is, much like other individuals who have never lived grown-up life without the comforts of fame and fortune. At 14, I wasn't a multimillionaire. While I was writing the novel that made Emma famous, I was living in poverty. So, I know from personal experience what it means for women and girls without Emma's advantages when women's rights are trashed, a practice in which she has eagerly engaged. Previously, Rowling had expressed her inability to forgive Watson and Radcliffe for having cozied up to a movement intent on eroding women's hard-won rights.